Hey guys, welcome. No music today because Manny didn't want to put on music for you all.
Yeah, I'm the bad guy.
Everybody looked down. And
Are we in mourning or something?
What? No Bee Gees?
I just wanted music. I mean, so we could be able to share everything. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Don't everybody speak at once.
I am glad to be alive.
This Sunday has been a good Sunday.
Oh, really? Why has it been a good Sunday?
Oh, auction day for me. Still work though, but doing good.
Review. So what are we gonna do today? We're reviewing the week and the upcoming week, right?
And the fact that we need a new justice ASAP. Clear option included.
So what do you? Okay, let's start with that.
Let's jump right in because, and that in combination with the coronavirus problem apparently has just disappeared.
I guess it's officially over, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here you go.
According to these pictures from the vigil that for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, may she rest in peace.
That's a couple of thousand or more there.
Are they all wearing masks?
Those are all of the abortion people.
Well, I'm sure they are, but are there any Hollywood people there not wearing masks?
Oh no, not Hollywood.
No. Right now they're doing the Emmys. Right now they're doing their weird Emmy show today to give each other.
What is the Emmys? What is the Emmys?
Oh, okay. Are you seriously asking, or are you just like?
I'm asking because to me none of that stuff is real anymore.
Oh yeah,
So
it's not real.
what is it?
But anyway, your argument, Manny, is that there's no more pandemic because the pandemic was no social distancing. So that picture tells you it doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
They all come out.
Yeah.
Are we live on Facebook?
Yes.
I don't see the link.
Well, just go to the RioPolitics Facebook page and share it there.
That's
But
right.
you also need to turn on your live notifications, Orlando. When you see the video, you need to turn on live notifications so that people can see what you're doing. Whenever we get on and stuff. Sorry, my hair is a mess. I've already been told you to cut your hair. Like I know, I'm lazy. Anyway, so what do you think about this picture, Josh? Yes.
It's crazy. I understand people want to go out and show their respects for the late justice, but it's where is the social distancing? Where's the mask? People want to harp on us as conservatives when we do our Trump rallies and stuff. So is there really a pandemic? Is there not? I mean, what's going on here? So that to me is it's crazy that they say one thing and do another. So
I'm fascinated because there are some people that blame the death of RBG. I vaguely remember this whole last 48 hours. It's been kind of a blur, but I thought I saw somebody get very upset on Twitter over those two people that Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg married a few weeks ago. You're blaming, I hope your marriage was worth it or something like that because, none of them were wearing masks. She wasn't wearing a mask. The couple wasn't wearing a mask or anything like that. And now you have all these people congregating. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that marriage picture was a big thing to do about nothing. The camera, as you know, will it doesn't show how close they really were. And if the couple didn't have the mask on, so what? They're going to be a couple. I mean, they've been a couple probably. So I think it was not a big deal.
Well, I mean, they were upset because I guess they feel that they put her life in jeopardy and she died and it's their fault. And then
you're saying that it's that event that she did that caused her to die.
Yeah, I guess I have no idea.
let's just ignore the fact that she's had major health problems for the last decade. So
Yeah.
I don't think that one event had much to do with her passing away.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
these are liberals who have no understanding of reality sometimes. So,
Right.
I mean, may she rest in peace. We talked about this Friday night. I mean, it's shocking that she passed away. Have you seen that video of this person on TikTok screaming and yelling and saying, "You only have to live to 2020, Ruth, 2021." You have up, Manny. Seen that video? I want to see that video because this is.
So I wonder why. What was it so important that she had to live past the elections?
Because I guess that Biden's going to win the election, and then Biden can replace her. Now they're scared that Trump's going to replace her. But I want to see that video. Do you have that video? That
yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
All right, cool. I want to see it. These are really cool little crisp things. Nope, no video.
Yeah, it's coming. Hold on.
All right. Hey,
Patience is a virtue.
Nah, that's what the Cowboys said when they apparently won today. I know I didn't watch the game, but I'm sure our resident Cowboy fan down here who still believes in anti-American. The Cowboys watched it.
So what was the score, Josh?
40-39. We went on the last second field goal because we got an onside kick. We were down by 20 plus.
I'm not a hater. I just believe in the United States of America.
I believe in the United States of America as well.
Yeah, Cowboys do not. So apparently you got to pick and choose me, Josh. You have to pick and choose.
Correct.
You're sounding liberal now, Roman.
No. Our President George W. Bush said the same thing about terrorists. You know, you're either with us or against us. So are you with us, the American people, or are you against us, Josh? No, that's not liberal. All right, come on, let's play this video.
You guys, I'm driving your car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died.
Wait, pause it. Yeah.
Oh,
She's driving her car, guys. She's driving her car, and she just got a notification. Did she pull over to get that notification?
No.
Well, depending on what type of car she has, it might have came through her screen.
So she's rich then?
Is that a Prius or a?
She drives a smart car.
Okay, I don't know. I'm just wondering because I don't get those in my car. Maybe I'm just cheap.
Here, let's play the whole thing first.
Okay.
I drive a Lexus and I don't get those either.
Damn.
You just had to make it to 2021.
Look at the road.
You guys, I'm driving your car, but I just got a notification that Ruth Bader Ginsburg died. Could this year get any
Damn.
You just had to make it to 2021.
Oh,
She blamed her. She's like, Ruth, you just had to make it to 2021. Why did you die? Why?
this may be
It was her fault.
Chaos throughout the city. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Like it was, I don't know what the heck that was. Like, was it her fault that Ruth just died?
Apparently.
Yeah, according to
They're
her.
blaming her now. It
It's
doesn't
Trump's
matter
fault
all the
somehow.
things that she did for the liberal community for 87 years and the fight for sex or gender equality in our country.
Wasn't enough.
Woman didn't live to 2021, so it's your fault you died. And any comments? Any comments?
I'm very concerned about the young lady that was having the conniptia. I hope that she does make it to 2021. That's
Why?
all. I'm concerned.
You think she could get an aneurysm or a stroke?
She may have hit a light pole right after she stopped screaming. I don't know. I hope she made it.
On her way to a safe space.
I don't know.
Oh,
And not only that, but she put it on TikTok. This was on TikTok, guys.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
TikTok, yeah, the Chinese are just loving this stuff, aren't they?
Yes.
Right?
God's Cruz on this obviously sane woman that was screaming at the top of her lung while she was driving.
So can we discuss
That's the proof.
when did Schumer prepare the nuclear option? What year was it that Schumer rigged it so that the option for them to nominate a justice would be nuclear with only 50 votes? When was this?
It wasn't Schumer. It was Harry Reid, and I believe it was in 2014, I think it was. Either 2012 or 2014, one or the other.
I believe so, yeah.
So
And
either
it was
Reid
not
or Schumer
Schumer.
did it so that they can get what they wanted, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
it didn't work for them, right?
No, it didn't. In fact, Mitch McConnell warned them in the not too distant future, you may regret what you're just doing right now.
Amen.
Yep.
Get her done. Get her done.
Wasn't it 2016?
I don't think so.
Because
No, it wasn't
Obama
2016.
was a lame duck. That was his basis, that we have a lame duck and we need to wait until after the election.
Yeah, there it is right here.
That what Cruz is referring to was with when Obama nominated Merrick Garland. I think they're
Right.
talking about the what Orlando's referring to is the Supreme Court justice before that was appointed and
No,
nominated.
what he's referring to is going for 50 votes. When Harry
Yeah.
Reid decided to do the nuclear option, that's different.
Oh, okay, you're right, Roman.
What you're referring to, Cruz, is what happened in 2016 when President Barack Obama nominated Merrick Garland in March of 2016.
And we had just taken the Senate back. Yeah.
And they had control of the Senate. And it was in the election. It was an election year. And the argument that Mitch McConnell made was, look, the president is a lame duck president. This is last year. He's of the opposite party of who's in control of the Senate. Let's let the people decide, because it's unheard of, really. I think it's been like maybe 2 out of 17 times that this has happened, where a person of the opposite party gets nominated and goes through, actually succeeds in an election year. And so that's what he was arguing. This is completely different. The Republicans are arguing, no, we have a President Trump, we have a Republican Senate. Let's do it. Let's nominate the guy and the girl. Obviously, that's what Trump wants, is a female to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. That's what's happening here. And it's not inconsistent. What the Republicans are doing is not inconsistent. Cruz, you got a comment?
Yeah, it's more of a question. What do you think is going to happen with the McCaining of those 2 senators, which would, I think it's Romney and then what's that lady's name from Maine?
Susan Collins.
Here's the deal.
Susan Collins, that they're saying we don't want to do that.
Here's the deal. Here's what I believe is going on with Susan Collins. Susan Collins is saying, I don't think that he should nominate. I don't think he should, but if he wants to, he can. She's not stepping in the way of that, because she's in the middle of a really, really big fight to win re-election in Maine. She's down, 3 to 5 points in the latest polls in Maine. She's more than likely going to lose. She doesn't want to antagonize the left, because we all know Maine really isn't a Republican conservative stronghold. So we can lose her. Mitch is probably like, you do that. We're good with that. The problem, Alaska's senator is more annoying.
Lisa Murkowski.
Yeah, she's more like, no at all. Like, period, no. Susan at least try and play in the middle road a little bit. Okay, no worries, Orlando. And so that's what happened with her. We all believe that Mitch Romney is going to do what Mitch Romney always does. It says, oh no, we should let the people decide, because he's a wuss. Could you imagine him being president had he won in 2012? How horrible this country would be in had he won. I think it might actually be worse than it would have been with Obama, quite frankly. Anyway, so I just don't know what he's going to do. But as long as no more than 3 Republican senators say no, we're going to have a vote. No matter what, we're going to have a vote, and I think the votes are there, because the Republicans will never get another opportunity like this again, because they're risking President Trump losing. Whether he nominates someone or doesn't nominate someone, the Democrats right now are going to be enthusiastically coming out to vote even more than they would already. I don't see Trump winning because of this. And if he doesn't win, you're never going to get the seat back. You're never going to be able to have a conservative replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's not going to happen.
What about the election strategy of not having a vote so that people will be voting for a new SCOTUS?
Yeah, I think Democrats were more likely to come out to vote than Republicans, quite frankly. That's just what I believe.
Okay, so you're saying that the vote should occur before November 3rd and not just hold it over
Yeah, it needs to happen regardless.
Conservative
It needs to happen. Yeah, because what if there is a 4-4 split and you all know that we can't trust Chief Justice John Roberts. He knows he doesn't like Trump. He's going to go against him on anything. It'll be a 4-4. That means whatever the Court of Appeals rules in whatever Court of Appeals you're in is going to be the presiding law in that area. And then you're going to have unequal rulings throughout the country when it comes to mail-in ballots, and you can't have that. And so just to avoid that situation, you need to make sure you have all 9 justices there. That's just what I believe. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I just do not trust John Roberts on the court right now. He wants to be the most powerful man in the world, and he knows that voting with the liberals on this one issue will get the 4-4, and if benefits goes against Trump, that's better than him winning. That makes any sense.
I actually don't see a downside for the Democrats. If Biden wins, they and the Senate goes away to the liberals, he can actually say, I want 11 justices and appoint 2 more himself. And it would pass the House and it would pass the Senate.
No, there would have to be a change in the law. It would have to pass the House and the Senate, and he would have to vote on it. But in order to do that, you'd have to have a probably end the filibuster first, which they can do as a rule change immediately when they take over the Senate, and then bring that to the floor, and then have an additional thing. And that happens, it'll cause a lot of problems. It caused a lot of problems for FDR.
Yeah.
In the 30s when he tried to do that, but in a way it didn't. What people forget about I think it was in 1937 that he did this. 1936 is he made the threat. FDR made that threat of, hey, I'm going to want to pack the court, because they were going against his New Deals. As soon as he made the threat, lo and behold, the courts, the justices on the Supreme Court found his New Deal policies not to go against the Constitution. Like, oh, you know what? We now agree with you. We didn't agree with you before, but we agree with you totally now. So his threats worked regardless.
Yeah.
And I know this because I'm a history guy. Thoughts, Josh?
It's just I don't say a horrible position to be in, but I think Trump's in a catch-22 situation where he's damned if he does it before the election, and he's damned if he waits. So, I think from the conservative perspective, it's better if he nominates it before, and that way we don't have a deadlock or a gridlock on the court come election time. Elections have consequences, and so the consequences happen to favor Republicans right now or conservatives right now because of the fact that we control the Senate and we control the presidency. So unfortunately, that's where it sits right now for the country.
Okay. So let's say President Trump nominates Barbara Lagoa, a Cuban-American jurist. Do you think Democrats will still go against her, but they're going to go against her hard? Do you think that benefits Trump on Election Day for November 3rd?
I think it benefits him definitely in Florida.
Well, he's already got Florida.
Well, I mean, I think it'll help him out more in Florida.
I'm more interested in the Hispanic vote throughout the country.
I think largely it'll help him out with the Hispanic vote here across the board.
So
because that'll be the highest Latino that's ever been in the government.
No, it wasn't. Sonia Sotomayor is already there.
Yeah.
That's true.
But we'll have 2 white Latinas on the show.
Right.
Potentially. I just think politically that she's a smart move. What about Amy Coney Barrett? You think she would help? I mean, she's Catholic. Might help President Trump with the Catholic vote, having another Catholic on there, but we already have Catholics on the Supreme Court anyway. Do you think that matters? Hey, Orlando, welcome back.
Do we have with the Baptists and the Catholics and the Lutherans, et cetera? Is that an issue anymore?
Well, the issue is Joe Biden could potentially be the second Catholic president. He's not really Catholic.
Not really.
And it's just you, Orlando. It's freezing. No, the thing is that you have Joe Biden is like I said, Catholic. He's going to get an increased bump in Catholic voters. Nominating somebody like Amy might benefit Trump with the Catholic vote. Also, if Biden and the Democrats go hard against her Catholicism, might antagonize Catholics, potentially voting more likely to vote for Trump or staying home, one or the other. It benefits Trump. That could be the argument, the strategy. Are you going to play it?
Those? Let me just ask this question, Roman. Are those two the presumed front runners right now? Or
Yes.
okay.
That's it. Those are the two. That's it. I don't think there's anybody else. Just those two.
Do you guys buy into that? That she was on her deathbed saying, "Oh, I want the vote to be the nominee to be held until after the election."
No.
I don't know. Maybe not on her deathbed, but maybe in the last few days or few weeks, she probably had some type of sentiment like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay. They claim it from her deathbed.
Doc has a good point. McConnell seeks to confirm Supreme Court justice in record time, but hasn't approved the coronavirus bill for her family and business in over 5 months. Hypocrisy. Okay.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
I'll give you an example. In the 70s, not too far away, John Paul Stevens was confirmed in 19 days. Are you saying that Trump is going to be able to do this in 19 days? No. I mean, he might be able to do it in 30 days, but so Ruth Bader Ginsburg was done in 30 days as well. It's only been in recent history where you're getting 70 to 100 days between nomination and confirmation. But for the most part, it doesn't take this long because the Supreme Court's a big deal. So historically, it's not. And as far as the McConnell doing the relief bill, they already have a relief bill. It's Nancy Pelosi who doesn't want a deal, and so been wanting to do it. In fact, you have Democrats are saying we're not going to leave the House or Washington until we get a deal. And there's being interviewed, I think, by Jake Tapper of CNN, and then 40 minutes later, she's on a plane back to Norwayland. I don't know where she's going to. So, it's hypocrisy on both sides, but you can't say record time. I won't agree with you on that one. 19 days is like less than 3 weeks, guys. He's not doing this in less than 3 weeks.
No.
Yeah.
Can you give us any idea of the time here? Will the president introduce a nominee this week? Does he want a confirmation vote before the election?
Jake, thanks for having me on. I think that the president is prepared to make a nomination very soon. I think, as you know, we've had a couple nominations that have provided the president a chance to interview a lot of candidates. He's narrowed his list, and he looks forward to making a nomination, fulfilling his obligation as president to make a nomination. As some of your guests have commented already this morning, the reality in history is that there's been 29 vacancies during a presidential election year. And 29 times presidents have put forward a nominee. So if the president's going to stick with his obligation to do that. He looks forward to making a nominee that I think the American people will be proud of. And it's one of the reasons they elected Donald Trump to be president in 2016 was because he made the Supreme Court a central part of his candidacy.
You heard Clinton say that all this flip-flopping by Republicans on the issue of nominating a Supreme Court justice during
flip-flopping, but okay,
will only increase public cynicism. In 2016, then candidate Trump was asked if he was okay with President Obama nominating a replacement for Justice Antonin Scalia, who passed away. Here's what candidate Trump said then.
I think it's up to McConnell and everybody else to stop it. It's called delay, delay, delay.
So the Trump position for a Democratic president was delay, delay, delay. But for him, it's urgent to confirm something. How do you push back against?
Stop. There was a Republican Senate and a Democrat person in the White House. Not completely the same thing, but hey, this is Jake Tapper. This is the same Jake Tapper that a few weeks ago denied that he told a Republican, hey, don't run against my friend who's a Democrat, run in another one. And then they actually go in another seat. He denied it, and then there's like the screenshot of his little message like, hey, how would you run into other thing? So yeah, this is Jake Tapper pretending to be an unbiased reporter person.
Yeah.
All right, keep going. Oh, sorry. Sofia Gonzalez, Interesting. If the Democrats were in power now, they would nominate the radical leftist judges. They wouldn't care. I absolutely agree with you.
100%.
I don't think they would have waited for her to be cold. They would have already nominated her. Right, nominated somebody.
Correct.
The impression voters are going to have that there seems to be absolutely no principle at stake here. It's just about raw power.
Yeah, actually, Jake, it's a pretty easy historical precedent. Of those 29 I laid out for you, there are 19 of those vacancies that happened when the party in the Senate, the majority party, was the same party of the president. Of those 19, 9 out of 10 were confirmed before Election Day, and another 8 out of 9 after Election Day in the lame duck period, including John Marshall. Take the separate scenario in which the party in control in the Senate is a different party than the president. There are 10 such vacancies. Only 1 out of 10 was filled before Election Day. And you have to go back to the 1880s to find that example under Grover Cleveland's presidency. So actually, the historical precedent is pretty clear. When you have a party in power in the Senate whose job it is to advise and consent and confirm the president's nominee, it continually has shown historically that that is the job of the Senate, to confirm the president's nomination. And history shows it's the president's obligation to make a nomination. Mm-hmm. When you have a party in different power in the United States Senate, those nominations have not moved forward. And that's exactly what Leader McConnell did in 2016.
Oh my God. Are you surprised, Jake?
Facts.
Oh my God, actual facts.
Actual facts.
Wow. Anyway, exactly. Cool. Thank you, Sophia. Welcome, Sophia. Feel free to comment. Any comments or questions you got? All right, let's move on from this topic. What's your next topic, Manny, you want us to talk about?
Oh, just more of the same. I think maybe we'll do one more on this whole Supreme Court justice thing, this time about what Sleepy Joe Biden has said in the past.
The Senate should not vote on SCOTUS nominee before election. Wait, what? You said... okay. Yeah, he's saying that now before he didn't say that, right?
Yeah.
That was part of the reporting? Cool.
Which has been par for the course for a lot of people. Like, they kind of forget what they said years ago. And now and we know why, but now it's a different ballgame.
But yeah, because they're really worried about a conservative being on the court.
What bothers me is that even people in the press are starting to kind of create a restless environment, or things that are going to happen if the president selects somebody. If riots and discourse, that's not good.
We're going to have riots no matter what, starting November 3rd. We're going to have them. They're going to continue and possibly get worse. Let's not let that stop us from nominating a Supreme Court justice that must be in place, because if the ball was in the other hand, they would get it done ASAP. We need to stop being Mr. Nice Guy, Republican Party, and we don't want to do anything to people so they don't talk bad, so they don't feel bad about us. The Democrats act and they use a knife to cut things straight across whenever they need to. We need to defend the party, defend the country the same way, and get it done.
All right. Cruz. Oh, it'll be all out Civil War. That's an interesting. What do you all think about that? I haven't really thought about that topic. Civil War.
It's just rhetoric, because a liberal friend of mine said, you conservatives are going out and getting guns, and you're going to attack us, and you're going to kill us. And I reminded her, conservatives have had guns since forever. If we wanted to go to war and wipe you out, you would be gone. You'd be dead. So it's all rhetoric.
Well, Dan flip-flopping on SCOTUS nominee. Yep, that's what they're doing. Orlando? Josh, sorry, you're next.
Yeah, I think they've been flip-flopping, but that's what they've been doing. They flip-flopped on the war. First they were for it, then they were against it. So flip-flopping is in their nature. It's nothing new. in regards to the Civil War comment, I hope and pray it doesn't come to that, but I do concur with Orlando that I feel like if Trump is reelected in November, that the demonstrations are going to get a lot bigger and a lot worse than they have been. But hopefully, eventually, cooler heads will prevail and we can move forward and hopefully get back to building this country like we were for the last few years before the pandemic unfortunately hit.
Yeah, Oscar says we just want the ability to protect our family, and that's what it's always been, and that's what it's going to be. But
yeah,
the other side is always going to spin everything.
Mm-hmm. Fascinating.
And I don't know. I kind of think once November 3rd comes and the results come out November 4th, if Trump does win, it'll be a few days of crap on the streets, but then he's in and it's his last term. There's not much that they're going to do about it. I think now everything's going crazy because they're just really trying to get him out of there or trying to get something to go really bad. And once he's elected for that second term, well, he's in, and I don't think anything's going to get him out.
Orlando, you're commenting away. You feel free to comment here. You're here.
Yeah.
Orlando, tell us.
Let's put the ball on the other shoe, okay? The Democrats win. What is the very first thing that the Democrat Party is going to do to attack all of the Trump supporters that Kamala Harris, whatever her name is, said clearly, I am going to go after each and every one of you supporters of Trump with impunity. She made it clear. And what is the first thing they want? Beto collects the guns. What is the 3%ers going to do? The 3%ers are as powerful as our military. And those are the American 3%ers that are civilians armed. We're not going to allow the Democrats to come after our guns when the Democrats win. So the Democrats win the election, they're going to come after our guns. We have a civil war because we're not going to let it happen. If Trump wins, they are going to attack because they're not going to want to accept it. So, Josh, the answer is this. We pray to God that it does not, but it looks like it will.
Yeah, Juan Carlos says it will only take 4 Republican senators to keep from confirming a justice. Following the example of the Scalia case, do you think they are being honorable or hypocrites?
Hypocrites.
Typical politics.
Rhinos.
No. Wait, go back. I like that question. No.
We know Rodney is not a Republican.
Wait. Go back to the topic. Wait, Orlando, stop, please. You're completely missing. Put that topic that's on there. Not the topic, Manny. The question that Juan Carlos had. You know, they're not being hypocrites. That they're following this. Why do you think why? I don't understand why you think they'll be hypocrites. Read that, Orlando. How are they being hypocrites?
Okay, so the Republican Party, or a good majority of the Conservative Party, wants an immediate nomination of a Supreme Court justice. Why? Because if the ball was on the other shoe, we talked about this 10 minutes ago. If the ball was on the other shoe, it would be the very first thing they would do to be able to stack it against us. This is what it's all about: power, people. It's not about honorable. It's about power. The Democrat Party needs to maintain some kind of power, and they're being exposed.
Okay, I want you to explain the position. Okay, good. I agree with you on that one. I'm like, wait a second. I want to know why you're saying hypocrites. All right, let's go. Next topic. All right, the question, sorry. The riots and looters are programmed to act regardless of this. They have been threatening since 2016. Just be ready and go vote. Absolutely. We want people to vote one way or the other. You vote how you want to vote. Be an informed voter. But vote in person. Don't vote by mail, because that might be problematic for you. You know, I don't take our guns. Voting by mail can be very difficult. Brian Cruz, you know, you've been in the room. You've been on the ballot board. How difficult is it to confirm some of these votes that are happening? You know, give us some examples how people can make mistakes when they vote by mail.
There's actually a lot of technical mistakes, and that's actually the saddest thing that you can see, where somebody just forgot to sign, or if it's a couple and they switched envelopes and we can't match it, or we can't find the other matched envelope, we have to throw the vote out, or any other technicality. It's a lot more difficult for somebody that hasn't voted mail-in ballot to actually get a vote in, because not only do you have to figure out the signature to see if it matches, all the other technical aspects of a ballot have to be met. Statement of resident ballots, if they forget to put in their statement of resident cards, automatic disqualification. There's a lot more disqualifications that can happen than an in-person vote. So I highly recommend that they go in person and vote.
Right. Orlando?
Okay. I understand the honest mistakes that Mr. Cruz just brought up. But now you, Cruz, and I haven't worked the elections, haven't been inside the elections department, haven't been state delegates and all of these things. How about the part of the people that are actually going to receive the vote?
Okay, we lost him.
Oh, I think we lost him.
You froze again.
I forgot to mention that there's a new law, or let me rephrase that. There's a new ruling.
Yeah, by
that if the signatures don't match, we have to give an opportunity for that person to remedy that, to cure that issue. So I don't know. This is the first time it's not ever going to happen. If it does, unless it gets appealed. I don't know whether it's a clock running, no information other than you will allow somebody to come in and cure signature. I forget.
You have to have a process. Yeah, that's what Judge Oscar, I think it's Oscar Orlando Garcia, one or the other. Either Oscar or Orlando, I can't tell, from San Antonio. Oscar Grider said Texas could succeed and become our own country, and we'd be the third largest country. I don't think we'd be the third largest country.
No.
Not even close, because you have already Russia and
Canada
and China are all already bigger than the United States, and the United States is fourth. So getting rid of Texas wouldn't make it.
Either by population or landmass?
Nope.
neither.
You could have been talking GDP.
Yeah, it's possible GDP.
Would we be the third? I thought California was already
California is higher than us.
Yeah, Canada is already at in the top 10. So we're not higher than Canada, so no. Okay. Orlando, you are back. You want to finish your thought you were making?
First of all, let me apologize. I've never had this problem. My internet has never frozen while I've been in the show before. It is one thing or the other. Either Facebook has definitely got me on the radar, or some unnatural power, because every time I get into a conversation, my feed freezes and I cannot finish.
I think I've told you need to clear your cookies and your cache and reboot your system. I think that's what you need to do.
I have no cash in my pocket. No, just kidding.
Yeah,
listen,
I think you need to do that out. Are you using Chrome or are you using Opera this time?
I'm using Opera.
Okay, you need to clear it out, or potentially use Chrome.
Okay, let me finish. I got my train of thought back. Cruz mentioned the legal aspect of the things that truly happen honestly. Somebody forgets to sign, somebody forgets this. How about the not legal aspect, where we know for a fact that the people, for instance, at Edinburgh, yes, here at Edinburgh, that are receiving and reading and interpreting the vote are purposely either not reading the vote properly, or not all the votes are being delivered. All of these things have happened before. And then the Minnesota, the Secretary of State of Minnesota was this past week. She admitted that there was a mistake in all of the ballots that were going to the military, and the mistake was working against Trump. What a coincidence.
Cruz, you're in Hidalgo County. You serve on the ballot board. What are your thoughts on what Cruz Orlando just said?
Well, we've had a share of mail-in ballot fraud with the U.S. Postal Service here in San Juan with politiqueras coming and picking up ballots from elderly. So there's fraud happening everywhere. And now that it's a felony, maybe the SOS, maybe the AG will start going after these people. Before that, I filed complaints, but no response. Those complaints before. Why? Because there were misdemeanors and it wasn't worth their time.
Makes sense. Sophia, who can forget the hanging chads in Florida, Bush Gordon? I know I can't. I remember that election night staying up all night, just like I think till 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, finally going to sleep. Not really knowing if Governor Bush had won, assuming he had won. Sorry, GDP. Yeah, but I don't think we'd still be third even with GDP. I don't think we would. Top largest. Oh, we're now third. I did not realize that we're bigger than China.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, kilometers. I thought we were behind China, but I guess not. And in population?
Yeah.
I think we're third as well.
Well, I think back.
Would we be third in population?
I think so. I think we're behind China and India.
Well, definitely China and India for sure, but higher than us? Yeah, you might be right in population, third. Right.
Here we go. I got the population up here.
330 million or something like that.
Roughly,
yeah, you're right on that. Ooh, congratulations. I guess we're third on everything.
State geography B.
Yay. How about by population and area, we're third in both of those. Okay. Yay. For some reason, I thought we'd be fourth on all those. But regardless, maybe if I were to use we would jump by Mexico. Too many. Zach, what's up, Zach? I'm gonna start calling you the Mandarin. I didn't get a chance to catch your Saturday show. I didn't wake up until like 1 in the afternoon, so forgive me. I don't know. I've been trying to sleep. My hours are crappy. Anyway, so next topic. What do you all want to talk about next? What you got? Manny, you're our topic.
We may have a special guest in just a little bit.
Oh no.
I
don't like special guests because I never know who it's gonna be.
It is political, and they would like to discuss RBG. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
And
no. I thought we went past RBG. I don't want to talk about RBG no more.
Well, we did, but this guest, we will for this guest.
I guess. Okay. Anyway. Okay.
Somebody throw something up, see if it sticks.
I don't know.
Just don't bring up the Felons League, please.
The what?
The Felons League. Don't bring up the Felons League.
He does not want to talk about the Felons League.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't planning on it.
No.
Okay. Joe Biden yesterday on Friday night, he's like, we have to get ready to fight. That's what he said Friday night. And then they put a lid on him at 8:30 in the morning the next day, meaning he didn't make any public appearances the whole day on Saturday. And then he comes out today in Philadelphia in the middle of a Philadelphia Eagles game. Thoughts on Joe Biden not doing anything on Saturday? Does he think he has it in the bag? Is he overconfident? Is he just this stupid?
I think his campaign is trying to minimize possible mistakes or mishaps or whatnot, which either way, it doesn't look good. So
I got it. Well,
okay, I'm going to put this one up for a minute, just for a second here. Okay, goodbye.
Seriously, how do the Cowboys expect to win when they have the same offensive coordinator from last year who sucks?
Well, they pulled it off today.
Quarterback who we all agree sucks. How do they expect to win?
Is it another building year?
I don't know. They were supposed to go to the Super Bowl this year, but I'm just like thinking they barely beat Atlanta today. I didn't see the game, but it's all over my news feed. It just because I'm not watching the game doesn't mean I don't know what the heck is going on. But they barely beat
Atlanta's a pretty good team, though. They have a pretty good team offensively.
They suck last. They didn't make it to the playoffs last year. They sucked last year.
They underperformed last year, though.
Well, they're underperforming this year too because they're 0-2.
Yeah, but they've had some. They have some pretty good firepower on offense. It's their defense that they need to work on. They probably need a new head coach, but Arthur Blank hasn't pulled the trigger to fire Quinn yet. So,
just because they won today, everybody's think.
Oh, they're gonna go to the Super Bowl again. Like, dude, I told you all last week, and I was the only one that picked the Rams to win last week. And by the way, I think the Rams won today, so they're 2-0. They beat the Eagles.
they're playing the Eagles. Big whoop.
Yeah, I know.
The Eagles lost to Washington.
Yes, but the Rams beat the Cowboys. So what did it say about the Cowboys?
Okay, well, the season's still young, so.
Yeah, I know. It's still young.
We didn't have preseason to go off of either, so.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, you got our next topic here. Let's go to Chicago.
Oh, threatened to stop delivering mail after multiple employees shot. What? Whoa.
Yep. This one right here. This one did it right here.
Wow. That's scary.
The word is that they want security on the streets or they will just not deliver mail. They're going to strike on it.
I don't blame them.
What about mail-in ballots?
Any mail.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen? How are they going to steal the election in Illinois? In
Chi-town?
What is going to happen to your favorite mayor, Manny? Mayor Lightfoot? What is
Beetlejuice
is going to get trounced. She will. Even their own people there are starting to turn on her. Not as a story, that's for sure.
How many people? To read some of this story, I haven't heard. This is news to me. Legit news. Never seen this. I always read it to us, Manny.
Nazi postal workers who deliver mail in some of Chicago's more violent neighborhoods, which are mostly the South Side and parts of the West Side, are threatening to halt their services after a mail carrier was shot in the city's South Side earlier this month. The carrier, a 24-year woman, was left critically injured after being shot multiple times at 91st and Ellis while delivering mail back on September 10th. Police said the worker did not appear to be the target and she just been caught in crossfire during a drive-by. Middle of the day drive-by.
They're targeting the mailman. It's just accidental. Just accidental crossfire in the
accidental.
Yeah. Just in paradise.
Oscar says, is Biden so clueless that if by chance he wins, he won't be in office too long before they claim his incompetence, or he'll take ill and Camila takes over.
You think
that's totally what will happen for sure.
That's given, yeah.
You think he'll only be president? He'll be the shortest president tenure other than William McKinley and William Harrison.
I don't know if he'll even make inauguration.
Wow. That's sad.
At least we know the U.S. Postal Service works in Washington, D.C. They were able to deliver a letter laced with ricin and mail to Trump.
No, they didn't mail it. I think they were prevented from mailing it, which is good. That's really good. People who do that should be arrested. And I know that the death penalty is no longer allowed by Catholics, but I think the death penalty is okay there. I just do. I mean, I'll go along with every other saint that agreed the death penalty was okay for 2,000 years until we had a very hyper-liberal pope, and Pope Francis the Jesuit, who cites himself in the catechism and says the death penalty is now inadmissible. Yeah, no. Sorry, but yeah, and somebody who does this is a coward, a terrorist, and should not be around.
Bottom line, in Chicago, they need to schedule their mail deliveries in between the drive-bys and the drug deals.
Wow.
And maybe it could be a little safer that way.
Crazy. But at least they're not targeting the mailmen or the mailwomen.
Yeah, no, not targeting. They just don't care when they have to have their little disagreements.
Yeah, horrible. Well, all right. Any other interesting topics from Gangland, Chicago?
See what we got in Chicago.
Do they have pizza wars over there still going on over there?
Nah, no pizza wars. The only wars are the.
I'm eating another butter. I love these things. They're delicious. I like. They look like little peanuts. I like them.
Roman, while we're waiting for Manny to bring up the next topic, what are your thoughts on the Senate race here in Texas?
Oh yeah, CBS and YouGov came out.
We're creating something that lets you experience the world in new ways.
What?
It those autoplay freaking.
Yes. What you need to do is on your computer, there's a setting that will turn off.
Yeah. We'll deal with it later.
You should do that always. Anyway, there was a. I'll get to your comment. I can't do two things at once, apparently. There's a YouGov CBS News poll out today that showed that Trump was ahead 48-46, right? Within the margin of error. But in that same poll that showed that John Cornyn was at 46%, while MJ Hager was at 41%. I don't buy that poll for one reason only. There is no way in hell that this state is going to vote more for Trump percentage-wise than they are for John Cornyn. I'm sorry, that's unheard of. That doesn't happen. Because these never-Trumpers, even though they don't like Trump, they're still supposed conservatives, and they love themselves from Cornyn. So those people are going to vote for Cornyn. They're not going to vote for MJ Hager. I just can't believe that Cornyn would be polling lower than Trump. That's why I just don't buy that poll. And on top of that, just last week or 2 weeks ago, yeah, you're telling Manny. What I think about you.
Hey, it's not the never-Trumpers that hate Cornyn.
Mm-hmm.
It's them. They may be part of it, but it's the Trumpsters that hate Cornyn, and they will not vote for Hager, but they will definitely be an undervote.
Well, being an undervote in this case, that this is another reason why I think it's highly important for Trump to nominate someone they vote, so they can show to these Trumpers, that purists, whatever Trumpers that exist within the Trump party, can realize that John Cornyn at least voted for the right person and has sided with President Trump. There's no way in hell MJ Hager would ever do the right thing and do that, because MJ Hager is a liberal. And so those purists are just as bad as the never Trump purists, the little rhinos. So these people need to make up their mind. That's just my personal opinion. I'm going to vote for John Cornyn. I have no problems voting for John Cornyn, even if he is a pain in the butt, almost like a Mitt Romney, but he's better, definitely better than an MJ Hager. Poor Joe. The Democrats are so sure their dirty tactics will carry Joe over the finish line. Get ready for the unhinged, corrupt Democrats to do whatever it takes. Never let a crisis go to waste. Hey,
I agree.
That was Rahm Emanuel's quote, the former mayor of Chicago. Manny, what was Doc said something earlier before. Excuse me. Second Amendment will never be replaced. It will be required a constitutional convention, 2/3 Congress, and 3/4. No, you're right. It won't be. It can't be replaced. But when you have the certain justices on the Supreme Court that can weaken an amendment, it might as well not even exist. Look at the 10th Amendment. Do you even know what the 10th Amendment says? Nobody pays attention to the 10th Amendment because the 10th Amendment doesn't exist in the minds of the Supreme Court justices. So they can weaken the Second Amendment just like they weakened the 10th Amendment. What were you going to say, Orlando?
The Democrats do not have to have the Second Amendment repealed. They can, if they take control, do whatever trick or whatever it is that they have planned to do and try to go especially to the more softer target cities and start taking people's guns. They're not going to take it from the main farm areas or the main heavy loaded cities or towns or regions, but they will attack and target the smaller, weaker cities, and they will go in there and demand to take people's guns like they did in Louisiana with Katrina. They did it in Louisiana with Katrina. They took everybody's guns that was going across the lake to flee from the hurricane, and they had their boat or their canoe or whatever it was with their personal belongings and their guns, and they stopped their boats and confiscated all of the guns in Louisiana during Katrina.
Virginia had them turn the AR or assault rifles in, and many people complied.
Did you all talk about Alan West and the Texas GOP condemning the moving of the Alamo Centigraph? I could care less about the Texas GOP or Alan West. They're kind of worthless and dead to me. Don't care. Move on. Next topic. Seriously, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure, Cruz, you have your own opinion of Alan West and the Texas GOP right now?
Not very high right now.
Yeah. 2 words for you. Election integrity. Move on. Next topic. I remember Katrina. What about Katrina?
Yeah, that's what what Cruz was talking about.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I missed out on that.
So we got this little nugget that snuck through on the news wire here.
Uh-oh.
Christmas in October.
What about it?
The reason I bring it up is because it opposed George P. being involved in the initial moving plan.
I don't see, again, the Texas GOP does. I don't care about them. They don't matter. Let's be honest. The Texas legislature laughs at the Texas GOP. It laughs at the platform. It laughs at the rules. They don't care. So until the Texas GOP can convince legislators to care, then maybe the Texas GOP will matter. And quite frankly, I didn't support Alan West because Alan West is from Florida. And the fact that there are 30 million people or so that live in Texas, I'm not laughing at it because I don't want to laugh at it. They couldn't find a single person in Texas to run. They had to get some guy who lost his re-election campaign in Florida. Whatever. Move on.
So Salvation Army believes they're going to do about half of at least what they did last year. So they're thinking about starting early this year.
They can call on Hollywood, and Hollywood can donate some money to them.
For the first time, okay.
For the first time in 130 years, Salvation Army is launching its Rescue Christmas. They believe because of COVID, obviously, just like everything else, it's going to take a hit. So they're trying to get things started a little earlier this time around.
Okay. So when Christmas now, it begins in September?
And probably October.
I mean, they're not going to have Halloween because the Rona's going to end it. No Halloween whatsoever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really sad that we're not able to give as much as we are. I can only imagine how sad, how bad the what's the word? Our churches are doing right now because of coronavirus. People not being able to go to mass or go to their Sunday services. They're Protestant because of coronavirus, and if they're being hurt, the Salvation Army, I can imagine hurt as well.
I have 2 churches that are clients, and they've shut down. They've closed their doors. They've turned in their LLCs.
Yeah, really sorry.
Any news on Lubies?
They're done. They're gone. They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, they're still serving, but you're in Florida.
Wait, are those men's shoes? What shoes? I have no idea. What shoes are you talking about, Ray? What you talking about, Willie?
The ads on the article that
Manny just loves posting all these little autoplay ads and
dude, all these websites have so many freaking ads. It's not even funny.
They do have a lot of ads, but it kind of shows what are you looking at, Manny? Because remember, these ads are targeted to you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Something you want to talk about, Manny?
I was going to put this up here. This is
apparently, is this special guest ever going to come on? Because I got better things to do.
Yeah.
Like talk about stuff that we want to talk about. And I'll wait on RBG topic. No?
Well,
Okay.
like I said, if we're not here, we're not here.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
wait, when did this happen? Where? Here?
Border Patrol
In Ferndale, Washington.
Wow.
Yeah, Border Patrol station vandalized near Bellingham happened today during a protest at the Border Patrol station.
Oh wow.
I'm sure they have cameras, and I'm pretty sure that President Trump is going to make sure those people go to federal prison, not state prison. They probably are. You know what? Actually, I get a lot of ads for this.
I'm getting
I don't
shoes.
know why.
Roman gets like Lysol ads and stuff, and
They don't even have Lysol anymore. It doesn't exist because all you people have stolen my Lysol. I've stolen my Lysol and my antibacterial wipes. I don't even get those anymore. Horrible.
Go to Sam's Club.
Yeah.
No, not
I
there
go out
either.
in public.
I find them at Sam's Club.
I don't go out in public. I don't. No, I don't go out in public. I just stay home and
Do you need a care package, Roman?
nope, I'm not gonna go out in public. Just not.
That wasn't the question. The question was, do you need a care package?
No, I do not need a care package. I'm not that poor. Oh, Orlando, are you gone again? I think Orlando. Anyway, so we were gonna promote Orlando and Cruz's business today. Manny, Orlando, your business. We're gonna promote your business today.
Well, yeah. I can tell you that my dance studio has been in the Rio Grande Valley now going on 19 years. Thousands of happy, pleased customers. Many couples that have regained their friendship and their niche back with each other because of dancing. I am the only dance studio at the moment that is open because everything that I do is on a private basis with individuals or couples. So while everybody else is closed down, I am the only dance studio that's open, and that is the Salsa McAllen Dance Studio on North 10th Street.
And you don't just do salsa. You do other types of dances, right?
I can teach you to dance everything from salsa to tango.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Two-step, Texas two-step.
Yes, sir.
All right, there you go. So that's the Salsa McAllen Dance Company. So if you're in Hidalgo County, especially you're in a neighborhood and you want to learn how to dance, go with Orlando. He can teach you how to dance. I don't dance. I think the last time I danced was on my wedding night, and I did one dance, and that's it. I don't dance. I just don't like to dance. I've never been a dancer. I don't know why. But I'm pretty sure you're a darn good teacher, Orlando. So if you're couples out there or anything, hit up Orlando. He's not paying for this advertisement. We just want to help out our small businesses in our Rio Grande Valley community. So pretty cool. All right. Yeah.
If there's video of you dancing, maybe that will tell us why you don't dance.
No, no. I don't even think there's even
Good
video.
one, Cruz.
Yeah. Do you have any pictures of you, Orlando, dancing on this thing at all?
On my Facebook, you can. Yeah, if you scroll down, you'll see me on the video where I'm sitting at the table.
You have to go to a video section, Manny. You have to go to the videos.
You were there. Okay, hang on. Scroll up.
Videos.
Go back to the videos.
Video, Manny. You're really bad at this, Manny. Really bad at this. Man,
I saw the video a moment ago.
Horrible. There you go. Go back.
Sure, you see a
Go back
video
to the home, Manny. Go back to the home. Swipe left. Swipe left. Or swipe right.
Home, and then scroll up. Bring it up.
Hold on a second. We got somebody here.
Oh, dear Lord.
Sweet baby Jesus.
We've got somebody here. Judge Fonseca.
Judge Fonseca, what's up, Judge Fonseca? You're a much better special guest than I was already thinking in my mind. I thought he was going to give us somebody to talk to. Hey, Judge Fonseca, what's up?
Good evening. I heard you needed a constitutional scholar, but I'm all you got.
Oh,
all right.
Okay. That's good. I don't know. You want to talk about RBG? That's what Manny said.
That's what I heard. You guys were...
I'm very bossy at Almo because Manny does autoplay stuff, makes us have pictures of women's shoes.
Roman's very whiny today.
I'm very whiny. I'm kind of
Not
whiny
just today, but that's another time.
It's okay. Anyway, just
a party. How are you doing?
Doing good.
I heard you were talking about RBG, so I thought that would be fun to drop in on.
What do you want us to mention about RBG?
Absolutely.
Well, I haven't heard what you guys have been saying. I can throw my 2 cents in.
Oh, what were we saying? I already lost. D. Rodriguez wants you to promote his nuts company. I'm sure, man. I'm sure. No. Stupid. It's not our night show. It's not Real Talk, Real Late. No,
Still early.
no, we were talking about RBG and whether or not somebody should be appointed right now, later on, based on the Constitution. And there's a couple of judges, Amy Coney Barrett and Barbara Lagoa, I think, are the top two female candidates for President Trump to nominate. I don't think are you on that list by any chance? Just 1 second.
If the list is 1,000 people long, I'm probably 1,001.
Okay.
So, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure I won't make. I'm sure I won't make it.
So your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about any?
But I can talk
Barrett.
about I can talk about Judge Barrett. She's a Notre Dame grad. I'm a Notre Dame grad as well. And I was actually her student when she was a professor at Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. And I can say she is an amazing woman, not just her personal story, how she was able to manage a household. I think she was pregnant with her 5th child when I was in law school. Mm-hmm. She was able to manage a family, a career. She was a writer as well. And now she's doing all that plus being a judge. So an amazing woman, very witty and smart. So I can't say enough good things about her. She would be a great justice.
What's interesting about that is I have believed each time that she should have been his nominee, whether for Gorsuch and most definitely for Kavanaugh. I think had she done her for Kavanaugh, it would have made more sense. We would have avoided all the fight that happened with Kavanaugh. I think it might have changed the midterm for the better for the Republicans. There were a couple of races I think that they would have won, and they wouldn't be at a 54 majority, right? And a 54 vote majority or 53 vote majority. They'd probably be at a 55, maybe even a 56 vote majority, and not be. But Trump listened to the wrong people and appointed Kavanaugh. I was one of those people just upset, mad. And at the same time, we would be in a different position where he could potentially be nominating Barbara Lagoa right at this point to get the Hispanic, Cuban American vote, sewn up. So it was a completely mistake in saving her. But one of the complaints that I've heard about Judge Barrett is that she's a member of Praise of Jesus or some charismatic community. Do you know anything about that charismatic community she's part of? Is that like the same thing that like the Misa Carismáticas that we have here in the Valley? Or is it
it's a little bit, it's kind of like that with Opus Dei. They're a conservative leaning group within the church. Okay. So in response to questions on whether or not she's conservative, I'd say she is. She's conservative in the sense of in the judicial philosophy that she will only look at the text. She's a textualist. She's not, unlike Justice Ginsburg, she probably won't look at the Constitution as a living, breathing document, which is the opposite of textualism in judicial philosophy. So I think she'd do very well in the court. In Kavanaugh's defense, I don't think anybody saw that coming. Everything that happened, all those allegations. I don't think anybody really could have prepared for that. But I was personally, because I know Judge Barrett, I was rooting for her to be picked. I don't know anything about the other judge, Igoa, from Florida, but I've read a little bit about her today. She's had a long history on the bench, over 20 years, trial court level, appellate level. So I'm sure she'll be a good pick as well.
The age, it might mean something. Judge Barrett is only 48 years old, and Judge Lagoa is 52. We don't want somebody who's only going to be there 20 years. We want somebody who's going to be there potentially 25 years, maybe more, because this is a hugely important seat.
It is, but then again, I don't like using age because people then attack me for being too young for the bench. So
you're
I stay away.
You're fine. Why is Trump appointing a woman? Shouldn't it be the most qualified person? No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It should be the most qualified. But I can tell you my point of view. I thought that Judge Barrett probably was the most qualified of the list that he had for that position to replace Justice Kennedy on the court, because Judge Gorsuch even was a Kennedy person, Kennedy clerk, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was.
And so he replaced Scalia. It made no sense. It would have been really good to finally have a Scalia clerk on the court, and Judge Barrett is a Scalia clerk, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. I was surprised with the Gorsuch pick, and I think a couple of his decisions lately have really shed a light on the fact that he probably wasn't the best replacement for Scalia. I'm a big Scalia fan, and you wanted someone with a real conservative on the bench. You probably would have gotten that with a Justice Barrett on the first pick.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
yeah, it's not about man or woman. It is about being more qualified, and I think Judge Barrett. I'm getting ahead of myself. Judge Barrett is very well qualified to be on the bench. A very smart woman with the right philosophy.
I have a feeling, at the time I thought Trump picked Justice Gorsuch because he was a Kennedy disciple, and that way Kennedy would be more likely to retire early and say, "Look, I gave you a dude. You should be happy. Now retire." But at that point, he should not have done Kavanaugh. I think Kavanaugh is too much like a Roberts, and it's been a horrible pick for the Bush administration. At the time that he made that pick, I was just like, this was horrible. But it was because he went from horrible to just not as horrible, because his original pick was, what's her name? She was his
Harriet
lawyer.
Myers.
Harriet Myers.
Harriet
Thank you.
Myers.
Her was completely unqualified to be a SCOTUS person, and then went with Roberts. And I thought that was a mistake. And so we've been living with that huge mistake. The Bush administration gave us a lot of problems. And it's any wonder why, Republicans are still like, "Oh, Bush was the greatest president." Like, no, he's not. Even I was.
Well, in defense of the Chief Justice, I feel like I'm just defending everybody.
You are defending him. Don't defend him. Horrible.
But the Chief Justice has he inherited from Chief Rehnquist a very important thing, which is maintaining public's trust in the court. The court doesn't really have the power unless we actually listen to it. So in a way, he's worried about that, especially during these times where a lot of the hot topic issues are 5-4 decisions. So unless you have a clear majority on a case, you want to make sure you're doing something to protect the image of the court. Now, I'm not agreeing with that. I'm just saying that's kind of what he's trying to do on the bench. That's so not that I'm defending. I'm just putting it out there. That's kind of his concern about these times that we're living in. It's just so divisive that he wants to make sure that people respect the court and are able to follow it.
I can completely respect that. I just don't agree with having hodgepodge legal philosophy. You don't know where the court's going to rule because you don't know how he's going to wake up in the morning. I think I've spoken with a few attorneys who are constitutionalists, I guess, and they told me the same thing. And that's how I feel. And I agree with them. It just makes no sense. There has to be some consistent. Oh, Cruz, you wanted to say something.
I've got two questions. Maybe it's a two-part question. What is the real role of a Chief Justice other than the title? And why can't a new president coming in, assign one of the justices as their Chief Justice as they see fit?
So that's a very particular seat. All the other justices, they're, let's call them at large, but that particular seat is, when you get to nominate the Chief Justice is because the Chief Justice passed or vacated the seat. So it's a very particular seat. In fact, before Rehnquist before he passed, Chief Justice Roberts had been nominated for the seat that Sandra Day O'Connor had vacated. And then shortly thereafter is when the Chief Justice passed, and then President Bush said, well, this is now my nominee to be Chief Justice. and then that's when Samuel Alito was nominated to then take over the seat that Sandra Day O'Connor was vacating. So it's a very particular seat that's being filled. That's why you don't change it; it just stays that way. And the Chief Justice gets to decide who. I think one of the main things that the Chief Justice decides who gets to write the opinions on the cases. When he's in the majority, he gets to assign who the justice will write the opinion, or when he's in the minority, in the dissent, he gets to decide who writes the dissenting opinion. On the contrary, if he happens to be in the minority, then the highest ranking justice on the majority side is the one that assigns the who writes the opinion, and but by tradition, that's how it's done. He manages the court. He also presides over basically all the judges, all the federal judges. There is a commission. He appoints judges to different committees, so he has those powers as well. So he does quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm hopefully. See, we were having a debate, the political debate earlier, for Amy Barrett Barrett or Judge Lagoa. You have Judge Lagoa, who is Hispanic from Florida. You want to make sure, hey, make the Democrats have to fight against that pick, or do you go for Justice Barrett, who's a woman Catholic, and make Democrats go after her and her Catholicism? What would be politically, not from the judge side? I don't know if you can comment on it, but what are your thoughts on the political side? If you were President Trump, politically speaking, who would you pick? If that's a fair question to ask a judge right now.
It's hard because I know Justice Barrett. I mean, I keep calling her Justice already. I know Judge Barrett. So
one like 4 years ago.
Well, look, I have my Notre Dame sweatshirt on. So
and they beat the crap out of South Florida yesterday. It was like, was it even? They did. I think it was 52.
Yeah, 52 ended up. Yeah, I stopped watching after a while.
Like, it was brutal.
It's tough to decide between the two. I mean, what's better politically is going with the Cuban from Florida. That's, if you're thinking about it politically, because they both seem to be very qualified. Judge Barrett is smart, even though she hasn't been on the bench for long. She's only been on the bench for like just over a year, I think. And Justice is it Lagoa? Lagoa. Okay. She's been on the bench for a couple of decades, so she's got that trial experience, which I think is necessary to be on the bench. So you get a scholar, or street smart, or book smart. I think for the Supreme Court, you need both, and I'm sure Judge Lagoa doesn't lack book smarts. So she's got a bigger, more experience on the bench. So maybe if you look at it that way, then you go with Judge Lagoa.
But the other thing, I mean, not to mention that she's only been on the year. I had forgotten she was only recently put on the Court of Appeals. They could argue, well, you already did the background check. You've already done all the interview process that you're supposed to do in a Judiciary Committee. We can go a little bit quicker and potentially.
Well, both of them, though. Both of them have been on the Courts of Appeal, the Federal Court of Appeals, for a very short amount of time. Less than 2 years, for sure.
Yeah, Orlando really is going for that Cuban judge. You just really want another white Latina from South Florida, like you. You'd be doing salsa everywhere. You'd be giving free salsa lessons for everybody if she got on the Supreme Court, right?
You got that.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that logic.
See, he's giving you
if the lady has 20 years on the bench, then we got 20 years on the bench. I say she has enough, as the judge here is saying. This lady has the experience. We need someone that can interpret law, not make law from the bench. We need someone that's got 20 years of experience, does bring a good reputation.
Right.
Maggie, can you put that comment? Sorry, I don't know if you can read this, Judge.
Yeah.
Kavanaugh had a 6-figure credit card debt before his nomination. Do you think it's strange it was all paid off right before he got confirmed? Regardless of conservative liberal judge, should justices be thoroughly vetted? Thoughts?
Yeah, they should be thoroughly vetted, and I'm sure they are. They go through an extensive FBI background check. Even when I went to the Justice Department, when I worked for the Justice Department, and I was barely making, $25,000 a year, they wouldn't let me start until, because there was a bad report on my credit that it was one of my aunt's accounts, and we have a similar name. They wouldn't let me start until I fixed that or my aunt fixed that. So you don't get past the feds that easily. Now, how he paid that credit card debt, I have no idea. I hadn't heard about that.
Even as a contractor to the DOJ, you still you get fingerprinted and you still get vetted. I had to go through that, not as extensively as an actual employee, but as a contractor going into their offices to do work. I had to go through a vetting process myself.
Yeah, it's I'm sure they do their due diligence in making sure that the people are there aren't committing fraud or trying to get away with anything. So
fascinating. Well, I don't know how long you're planning on being with us, Judge, but as long as you want to. I know I don't want to kick you out. I want to I don't know if we're gonna end the show because we have Osmo. He was commenting away. He's gonna be mad if we run into his show at 9 o'clock and he's like away from his viewership or whatever. But how's your campaign going? I saw you had barbecue yesterday.
Yeah, we were out supporting a family that's starting a business, small business. They started doing some barbecue, some sandwich, some brisket, and I thought it was a good idea to merge a meet and greet with trying to help people come out and support this business. So it was kind of a mesh of the two. So it was an idea we started, and maybe we may do it again next Saturday. The point is just being out there and trying to be accessible to people as much as we can during the pandemic. So, but it's going well.
A comment from Oscar. I don't know if you're allowed to address this or not. Judge, what's your advice in reference to Texas schools teaching BLM and LGBT agendas without school board approval? One report, NTD News, elaborated that they even compared the police to the KKK, making the kids hold up a BLM fist to show equality, but yet don't allow them to pray or say a Pledge of Allegiance in class.
Well, I'm going to withhold comments because that seems like something that may end up in the courts. And it's probably best that I don't pass judgment now on that. That's a bad thing about being a judge is I can't really comment on a lot of things. But
only
football. Right.
And only the college football stuff. Well, actually, I do have a question. Speaking of Notre Dame, do people ask you to write letters of recommendation to go to Notre Dame? How did that go? People do that. How does that happen?
I have, and I did for one particular, only one person in particular, but I've known him since he was 12. So I'd known him and he actually got in. I don't think it was because of me.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was like, your success rate is 100%. Yeah.
I do have 100% success rate, but no, he was a really good kid, Eagle Scout, top in his class.
How tough is it to get into ND? I'm just curious.
I'm sorry?
How tough is it to get to ND? Get in.
It's pretty tough. I think the year that I got in, acceptance rate was about 30%. Mm-hmm. So 30% of those that applied got in.
Yeah.
So it's up there. It's not easy, but this kid did it on his own. I don't think he needed me to write a letter.
It helps. Were you a judge then? I'm not too many questions. I'm just curious. I don't need a letter of recommendation for me, but you just
don't judges recommendations have a little bit of weight?
A little bit, I would assume so.
I'm sure from an alum, it's mostly because of an alum. I don't think it's my title has anything to do with it. If you know someone that because you can recommend someone based on how they'll fit. That's how I write my recommendations. Is how well would you fit in with the community? Someone that's just not compatible with Notre Dame, someone that's extremely liberal, maybe not Catholic. Not that you don't that you have to be Catholic, but it's a strong component of life at Notre Dame. Things like that I take into consideration, and I tell people about. So don't be uncomfortable with a cross in the classroom, because if you are, it's probably not the place for you.
Yeah. El Bat Hombre, hey Judge, what do you think of Trump trying to have TikTok banned? Is it political or actual national security? I don't think you can comment on that one either.
Yeah, it's probably going to be for a federal judge to decide, but yeah, it's still, you know, I'm sure he'll do what he thinks is best. You know, free speech versus national security is always an issue, and it's a tough call. It's a tough call. So I was actually ready to talk about a First Amendment case about Justice Ginsburg.
Which one?
So,
which First Amendment?
Republican Party of Minnesota versus White.
Okay, I haven't heard that one. Which one is that one?
It's somewhat of an old case. It has nothing to do with TikTok. I just remember right now First Amendment, and didn't know what you guys were going to talk about.
Well, I mean, talk about.
If I want to be a nerd,
you want to?
I can be a nerd.
Yeah, feel free.
Nerd.
It's fine. You could talk about the Ledbetter case. That case was interesting. She was that, and Chief Justice Roberts wrote the opinion, I believe, and then it was the first bill that Obama passed as president, or signed as president.
Right. Yeah, that was a very contentious case, and she wrote a strong dissent. You know, she would wear the jabot according to how she felt. She wore her dissent jabot. She read that one from the bench, I think, which is rare. Well, she started doing it a lot more recently.
Yeah.
In fact, I think she wore it on the bench right after President Trump was elected, and without having to say anything, she just wore it as a sign of discontent, I guess.
Yeah.
But the case I was mentioning, that, you know, it's one of those things. She's considered a liberal, obviously, because a lot of the things that she said, but there were certain things that she weighed in on that, for a conservative, she got it right. And one of them was the Republican Party of Minnesota versus White, in which the Supreme Court struck down a law that prohibited judges. And the reason that I know about this one is because it applies directly to me. Elected judges, or judges that run for their office, weren't allowed to talk about issues in Minnesota, and that case struck it down as unconstitutional because it went against the First Amendment of a judge. I can talk about things. I can talk about issues. I can stand up for something. The problem is whether or not you disqualify yourself from it. But she stood for the First Amendment in that case, and saying it's their prerogative. If a judge or an individual that's running for office wants to speak his or her mind, then they can. Now, what the implications are for their job on the bench, well, that's for another discussion. But she stood for the First Amendment on that case, and as an official, appointed and hopefully elected official, then I respect that. And I don't know many people that know about that.
I don't think I remember that particular case. I don't think I know that case at all, actually. I don't follow the Supreme Court as much as I used to. When I was in college, I did a lot more than I do now. Anyway, any more comments, or did everybody leave us to go to the Erasmo show already?
I got a quick question for Judge.
Sure.
Newt Rockney or Lou Holtz?
Lou Holtz.
We've already did this.
Yeah.
I wasn't on that night. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Notre Dame, so I just wanted to ask him.
Yes, I know that, but we literally did that under rapid fire on Monday.
I wasn't on that night, okay? So calm down. Calmate.
You see, other people, if anybody wants to learn more about Judge Fonseca, they could just watch the thing on Monday that we did, Josh, and then we wouldn't have a problem with it. You wouldn't have.
Sorry, I had a conflict that night. I couldn't be on. I apologize.
Facebook video. You can watch it again. Anyway, TikTok. I'm is a security backdoor for all people that downloaded the app. In turn, anyone whose mobile device is allowed on public or private networks, it could be insert a bot that can be accessed at a later time. That's kind of I agree with you, Oscar. That's one of the safety problems with TikTok and security concern with TikTok, and I also think it's a security concern with me with Zoom. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I'm not the tech guy. Well, I think we better go only because it's already 8:59 and I'm gonna get murdered by it. Also, I'm still doing my show. So
Thanks for
tomorrow,
crashed.
thanks for having us, Judge. No, who do we have on tomorrow, Manny?
Tomorrow we have running for TSC Board of Trustees. Yeah.
He's it's Antonio Guevara.
Antonio Guevara.
He's running for Texas Southwest College Board of Trustees. He has two opponents who we reached out to. I have at least personally, and neither one of them have gotten back to me saying yes or no. Antonio is the only one who has. So we'll have him on Monday. Do we have anybody set for Tuesday as well, Manny?
No, we're working on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Hopefully by tomorrow we'll have it.
Thursday we're supposed to have Arhelia Miller, but she hasn't actually said yes. She told me yes, but we want to make sure we get full confirmation. That's Manny's job, not mine. And so we have Tuesday and Wednesday available but Manny's working on that because you'll be traveling on Wednesday. I don't know how we're going to do that, but we may not even have a show on Wednesday because he's traveling on that day. So we'll let you all know. Thanks for joining 901. They're going to kill me now. Thanks for joining us. It was a fun Sunday. Hopefully you all learned something and want to be able to come back and watch us. There is no real talk, real late show tonight at 10:30. We'll probably do a couple of those during the week. So we'll see you all tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Monday. God bless.
Judge.